When we think of BTS member JIN, we immediately associate his name with worldwide handsome. But he is way more than that. His birth chart reveals amazing information about him. Let's dive into the stars that shaped his personality, his hidden strengths, and the deeper story behind his charm. Hello stars, welcome back to my channel where I analyze the birth charts of your favorite celebrities. If you're new here, my name is Beatrice, I'm a professional astrologer, and today I'm taking a closer look at the natal chart of Kim Sok-jin. When fans look at Jin, they see worldwide handsome, the charming face of BTS. But his birth chart shows that behind the beauty is a complex, deep and very soulful person. By the way, if you want to have Jin's birth chart analysis and to read it anytime, it's available as a PDF file. The link where you can download it is in the description. Jin was born on the 4th of December 1992, which makes him the oldest BTS member. Jin's exact birth time is unknown to the public. I've seen a lot of articles and videos with the title Real Birth Time of the BTS members, but now that RM's birth time was confirmed, I can tell you that these articles and videos spread false information. So at least for the time being, I analyzed his chart without an exact birth time, which means that I can't make a video as long and complex as the ones for RM and Jungkook. I don't know his ascendant or the placement of his moon, but even so, the chart reveals a lot about our beloved Jin. If you should come across Jin's real birth time confirmed by him, please let me know in the comments and I will make a new video about him. Jin's planets are spread quite equally through all four elements, which is in general a sign that he has a balanced personality. He can be passionate, practical, thoughtful, and sensitive at the same time. But something very important about his chart is a pattern called a bucket. Most of his planets are grouped on one side of the chart, while only Mars in Cancer stands alone on the other side. This makes Mars the handle of the bucket. If you've watched my video about Jungkook, you know that he has the same pattern, just with other planets involved. For those of you who haven't watched that video yet, the link is in the description. What I said at that time about JK also applies to Jin. He is a perfectionist. Even if he's healthy, famous, successful, you name it, he will always feel like there's room for improvement. The planets located in one half of his horoscope will always feel like they are missing the other half. Mars is the planet of action, drive, and motivation. With Mars as his handle, Jin puts enormous energy into whatever he does. It's like all of his other qualities are being poured out through Mars. Even if he seems calm on the surface, his Mars gives him a powerful push to prove himself and to work hard. But here's the twist. Jin's Mars is retrograde. A retrograde planet is one that looks like it's moving backwards in the sky, and in astrology it means its energy works differently than usual, more inward, more self-reflective. Mars retrograde in the natal chart often makes people question if they are doing enough or if their efforts are really good enough. So while others see Jin as talented, beautiful, and successful, inside he may constantly wonder if he could do better. This fits perfectly with the perfectionist theme of the bucket. He is always striving, always improving, never fully satisfied with good enough. Mars retrograde also adds sensitivity. Instead of rushing headfirst into fights or challenges, Jin often turns that energy inward, analyzing and quietly pushing himself until he reaches his goal. It may take him longer to act, but once he commits, he works with incredible determination. This is why his calm and gentle image hides so much inner strength. His Mars retrograde in Cancer makes him a quiet warrior, fighting not by shouting the loudest, but by patiently and persistently proving himself over time. With Mars, who also represents war, being so strong in his chart, it's no wonder at all that Jin and J-Hope are the BTS members with the highest military rank. J-Hope's high rank can also be explained when looking at his birth chart, as you will see in one of my next videos. Subscribe to my channel and turn the notifications on so that you won't miss it. But back to Jin. His sun in Sagittarius is warm, optimistic, and adventurous. Sagittarius energy is about searching for truth, expanding horizons, and never losing hope. In the Suchita episode featuring Jin, Sugar reflects on Jin's positive mindset and how he manages to not dwell on past issues or worry excessively. Yoongi expresses admiration for Jin's confidence and says he wishes he could emulate Jin's ability to be happy and not let past events weigh him down. Well, this mindset is typical for people with the sun in Sagittarius. Jin's sun is also conjunct to special asteroids, Fortuna linked to luck and wealth, and Vesta linked to dedication and devotion. This makes him someone who shines not just because of natural talent, but because of his commitment. He is not lazy with his gifts, he devotes himself fully, and luck often follows. His sun is also at the top of a pattern called a small talent triangle, which we'll return to later. His Mercury in Scorpio shows how his mind works. Mercury is the planet of thinking and communication. In Scorpio, Mercury digs deep, asking questions others might be afraid to ask. He sees beneath the surface. Mercury is also conjunct Pluto, the planet of transformation and hidden power, and the asteroid Sappho, which is about artistic sensitivity and sometimes about themes of beauty and attraction. This combination gives him piercing intelligence, depth, and a magnetic way of expressing himself. But there's also a challenge. Mercury and Pluto square Chiron in Leo. Chiron represents wounds and healing, and in Leo it can show deep struggles with self-expression or feeling truly seen. Jin may sometimes doubt his own brilliance, even though the world admires him. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is in Capricorn, a serious and steady sign. This gives Jin a style of love that is loyal and practical. Venus sits right next to the asteroid Nike, a symbol of victory, and also connected here to his public image as a handsome person. His beauty is not just skin deep, it is part of his strength and how he inspires others. But Venus makes a difficult aspect to Chiron in Leo, which again points to a hidden struggle with self-worth. Even someone called worldwide handsome can feel insecure sometimes. Jin's Mars, the handle of the bucket, is very important. Mars in Cancer often acts out of emotion and protects the people it loves. Jin's drive comes from caring for others and from family-like bonds. This Mars is one of the reasons why Jin is so protective of the other members and takes care of them, for example by cooking for them. Of course, he is also the oldest in the band, but it doesn't necessarily mean he has to do all these things for the other members. His Mars is also part of a wedge pattern, which I'll analyze later, showing how his energy connects intensity with dedication. His Jupiter in Libra gives him charm and a natural gift for harmony. Jupiter is the planet of optimism, growth, and expansion. In Libra, it blesses Jin with fairness, diplomacy, and a sense of beauty. This is amongst others also one of the things that hints to Jin's above-average handsomeness. Jupiter is also part of the small talent triangle that I'll analyze later. However, this planet also squares Juno, the asteroid of commitment and partnership, which may bring challenges in relationships, perhaps tension between personal freedom and emotional closeness. His Saturn in Aquarius shows responsibility toward the future and society. Saturn is the planet of discipline, structure, and lessons. In Aquarius, it pushes him to think about humanity and innovation. It also shows that he feels some kind of responsibility towards the fandom, but also towards other idols. Paving the way for other bands might be important for him. Saturn is conjunct asteroid Ceres, which represents nurturing. This shows a serious, caring side of Jin. He feels responsible for guiding, protecting, or feeding others, not just with food, but also with emotional support. Saturn and Ceres are part of both a talent triangle and a yod, which we'll explore shortly. In Capricorn, he has both Uranus, the planet of sudden change and originality, and Neptune, the planet of dreams and imagination, together with asteroid Pallas Athena, named after the warrior goddess and linked to wisdom and strategy. This cluster shows that Jin combines practicality with vision. He can dream big, but also plan carefully. His North Node in Sagittarius shows his destiny, his soul's path, learning to trust his own truth and spread wisdom. With Sagittarius also being a sign related to expansion and travels, Jin was destined to travel a lot and in combination with other aspects to become worldwide famous. The North Node is part of a mystic rectangle, which is a rare aspect pattern we'll examine later. His Black Moon Lilith in Pisces adds a mystical, imaginative side, but also struggles with illusions or boundaries. Lilith squares asteroid Amor in Gemini, showing tension between romantic ideas and reality. But Lilith also makes flowing trines to the asteroids Karma and Psyche in Scorpio, meaning that through deep emotional experiences, Jin grows spiritually. Now let's take a look at his aspect patterns, which show how all these pieces come together. Jin's chart holds a small talent triangle linking Jupiter in Libra, Saturn and Ceres in Aquarius, and his Sun with Fortuna and Vesta in Sagittarius. This gives him a special gift. He can mix optimism with responsibility and deep devotion. His talents go beyond artistry. He naturally cares for others and builds things that last, whether it's through music, humor, or the way he supports his team. It also shows why his fans feel comforted and inspired by Jin. Then there is also a wedge formed by Mars in Cancer opposing Venus and Nike in Capricorn, and all of them forming positive aspects with Mercury, Pluto, and Sappho in Scorpio. Right here we already see the worldwide handsome theme. He is admired for how he looks, Venus plus Nike, but he also has the energy and ambition, Mars, to prove himself through hard work. The opposition shows a kind of inner conflict and question. Does he rely on his charm and presence, or does he fight to show his strength and effort? What makes this wedge so fascinating is the apex, Mercury and Pluto conjunct asteroid Sappho in Scorpio. Mercury is the planet of the mind, Pluto is the planet of intensity and transformation, and Sappho represents art, love, and beauty expressed through creativity. Together they bring depth, intelligence, and an almost magnetic artistic power. This cluster in Scorpio forms smooth aspects to both Mars and the Venus-Nike conjunction, helping Jin transform the tension between action and beauty into something deeper and lasting. This is why Jin is never just handsome. The wedge shows he has the ability to combine his natural elegance and his emotional drive with a sharp creative mind, powerful inner strength, and artistic magnetism. Instead of being trapped in the image of a pretty face, he channels that into artistry, clever humor, soulful singing, and the ability to connect with people on a much deeper level. But wedges are not always easy. The same energy that drives him towards success can also create inner conflicts. Mars in Cancer may make him sensitive or hesitant, while Venus in Capricorn wants him to look perfect and polished. And with Mercury Pluto in Scorpio at the apex, he can be his own toughest critic, always analyzing, always wanting to improve, always transforming himself. But this constant self-reflection is also what makes him grow stronger over time. Jin's lunar nodes in Sagittarius and Gemini form a rare mystic rectangle with Chiron in Leo and Hera in Aquarius. This balanced pattern shows that his wounds and insecurities, Chiron, as well as his duties, Hera, can align with his soul's path, the nodes. It gives him resilience and a sense of destiny. Even when life challenges him, he can turn struggles into strength and find harmony. This makes his journey feel both meaningful and fated, guiding him toward growth and balance. With Hera also meaning partnership and commitment, one way he reaches balance in his life is through his connection with the other band members. Last but not least, Jin has a Yod in his birth chart, also called the finger of God. It points to Juno in Cancer, forming aspects with his Sun in Sagittarius and Saturn Ceres in Aquarius. A Yod signals a special mission, and with Juno at the peak, loyalty and deep relationships are central to his path. Love and partnerships may not always be simple, but they are important lessons his soul came to learn. This pattern pushes him to grow through commitment, showing that connection and trust are key to his destiny. I also see this pattern as a sign that he was destined to find success through very close partnerships, like being a member of BTS. So when we look at all this together, we see that Jin is much more than worldwide handsome. His chart reveals a mix of talent and ambition that pushes him to act and achieve his goals. Beneath the flawless exterior is a heart that loves deeply, a mind that seeks growth and transformation, and a soul full of wonder, curiosity, and the drive to make every moment meaningful. This is everything I can tell you about JIN without knowing his exact time of birth. In my next video, I will talk about Suga. Until next time, shine bright like the stars.